Hi there, everybody! Vamos lá. Olha só, a gente já conhece, né? A gente já conhece o dólar, já conhece as divisões das notas e das moedas. Agora, quando a gente aprende a somar, dividir, como é que a gente fala? 2 plus 2 is 4, não é? 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 by 2 is 1. A gente usa esses sinais, né? Plus, ó, dividir, menos e vezes, multiplicação. Agora a gente vai usar os verbos específicos, né? Calculations. Em vez da gente falar 2 plus 2, a gente vai falar you add 2 and 2, né? Você soma. O verbo somar, to add. Vamos lá, repeat. To add. Again, to add. All right. Let's conjugate the verb to add. Vamos conjugar. I add, you add, he adds, S, right? She adds, we add, you add, they add. Perfect. Muito bem. Muito bem. Então todo mundo soma, né? Como é que fala então? If you add 150, how much do you have? Tá? Repete a frase toda, que essa frase tá boa. If you add 150, how much do you have? Again, if you add $100 and $50, how much do you have? All right, again, if you add $100 and $50, how much do you have? Perfect. Now the answer. If you add 150, how much do you have? You have $150. Perfect. Perfect. Agora eu pergunto e vocês respondem. If you add $200 and $100, how much do you have? All right, you have $300. Perfect. Agora repete a parte da pergunta, né? Por exemplo, if you add $500 and $500, how much do you have? Aí você começa. If you add $500 and $500, you have $1,000, tá? Repete esse iniciozinho também, que é para praticar. Vamos lá. Again, if you add $100 and $100, how much do you have? Perfect. If you add $100 and $100, you have $200. Perfect. If you add $50 and $50, how much do you have? Perfect. If you add $50 and $50, you have $100. Perfect. If you add 50 cents and 50 cents, how much do you have? Excellent. If you add 50 cents and 50 cents, you have $1. Perfect. If you add 25 cents and 75 cents, how much do you have? The same thing, right? A mesma resposta, the same answer. If you add 25 cents and 75 cents, you have $1. Perfect! Agora, ao invés de somar, nós vamos diminuir. To subtract. To subtract. Repeat. To subtract. Again, to subtract. All right, let's conjugate. I subtract. You subtract. He subtracts. She subtracts. All right, we subtract. You subtract. They subtract. Perfect. If you subtract, olha só, if you subtract $50 from, você está diminuindo, você diminui de alguma coisa, né? Então, if you subtract $50 from $100, how much do you have? You have $50, né? Se tira 50 de 100, fica com 50. Alright? Então, então me dá a resposta repetindo o início também, usando o início na resposta. Alright? If you subtract $20 from $100, how much do you have? You have $80. 80, right? Tira o 20 de 100, 80. Perfect. If you subtract 50 cents from $1, how much do you have? Excellent. If you subtract 50 cents from $1, you have 50 cents, right? If you subtract $200 from $500, how much do you have? Perfect. If you subtract $200 from $500, you have $300. Excellent. If you subtract $2 from $6, how much do you have? Perfect. If you subtract $2 from $6, you have $4. Excellent. Excellent. Perfect. Agora, ao invés de add, instead of add and subtract, we divide. Divide. Vamos lá, repeat. To divide. Again, to divide. One more time. To divide. All right. Let's conjugate. I divide. You divide. He divides. Regular S, right? She divides. We divide. You divide. They divide. Perfect. Perfect. Então, o mesmo cálculo. If you divide 100 by 4, look at the preposition by. Você divide por, certo? Então, you divide by 4. If you divide 100 by 4, how much do you have? You have 25. Right, mathematics, right? Yeah. If you divide, resposta completa agora, tá? If you divide 500 by 5, how much do you have? Perfect. If you divide 500 by 5, you have 100. Perfect. If you divide 1 by $1, if you divide $1 by 2, how much do you have? You have 50 cents. Perfect. If I divide with you, right? I divide with you $1 by 2. Each one of us has 50 cents, right? A metade, half of it. All right. If you divide $1,000 by 2, how much do you have? Perfect. If you divide $1,000 by 2, you have $500. If you divide $1,000 by 4, how much do you have? All right, if you divide $1,000 by 4, you have $250. Perfect. $250 times 4 is $1,000. Perfect. That's it. If you divide $6 by 3, how much do you have? Perfect. If you divide the $6 by 3, you have $2. Perfect. E agora multiply. Times. 2 times 2. 2 multiplies. Não vamos conjugar no. Deixa assim. Multiply. If you multiply. O verbo é to multiply. Let's repeat. Multiply. Again. To multiply. One more time. To multiply. All right. Let's conjugate. I multiply. You multiply. He multiplies. Aí a escrita, né? Lembrando que o Y é a última letra. The last letter is Y. And the letter before the Y is a consonant. What happens to the Y? It drops. Perde, né? Cai o Y, cai o Y. E como é que eu faço então? He multiplies. I-E-S. Perfect. Mas o som é o mesmo, né? He multiplies. She multiplies. We multiply. You multiply. They multiply. Perfect. Perfect. If you multiply 10 by 4, if you multiply 10 by 4, how much do you have? You have 40. All right. If you multiply 2 by 2, how much do you have? Complete answer. All right. If you multiply 2 by 2, you have 4. If you multiply 25 by 4, how much do you have? Perfect. If you multiply 25 by 4, you have 100. If you multiply 1,000 by 5, how much do you have? Perfect. If you multiply 1,000 by 5, you have 5,000. Perfect. Very good. Só para a gente praticar um pouco os, os verbos novos, né? Que a gente vai substituindo, em vez de falar só two by two ou two times two, agora a gente já conhece os verbos também, right? Então, capricha aí, são 4 verbos novos. Depois volta para a gente continuar. See you all later, alligators!